On Perspectives, we'll be looking at water situation in Kaduna State. And we do know that in Kaduna State, we have the Kaduna State Water Corporation, KADSWAC. And Comrade Sanusi Mekudi is managing director of this agency. Now, water, they say, sustains life. But in most parts of Kaduna State, that has since been forgotten. And the taps are going dry. And people are all over the place, looking for alternative source of water supply. Now, what's the situation? And would also do know that the state government had devoted so much money on the Zaria project, of water project in Zaria, and the situation here in Kaduna, in Kafanchan, and key parts of the state to see that water, goes round. But that's proven difficult these days. And recall that most taps, public taps, are not working, and so people have resorted to, own boreholes and wells, for water supply. Now, if the importance of water is that, high and of essence, why are we not having water running all over the place? We'll be talking with the managing director of Kaduna State Water Corporation, KADSWAC, Comrade Sanusi Mekudi, to give an update and, of course, tell us the situation that we have with water supply in the state. And a moment from now, we expect that Comrade Sanusi Mekudi will be in the studios with us. We have word from him that is just close by. So stay tuned. The program is Perspective this morning. Be back with you shortly.
Perceptions could change. Opinions can be formed with more and accurate information. Get all sides, views, and opinions on topical issues. Have your say on Perspectives. With Twin Alabi at 9 a.m. Mondays to Fridays on Invicta 98.9 FM. Perspectives. All sides, all views, all individuals are welcome.
Perspectives this morning, and we're looking at water in the state. In your area, we'll be asking you before the arrival of Comrade Sanusi Mekudi, what's the water situation in your area? Are you having water supply 24 hours, or what hours of the day do you get water supply in your area? We would want to hear that from you and add it up to what we'll be discussing with the managing director of this corporation this morning. We do know that good-spirited individuals are doing good service to the people by providing a public outlet where people can fetch water. Now, should this be the situation, or is it that government is not meeting up to what its promises to the people? Water and its importance, what we can do about making water go round. If water sustains life, then where are we with water supply in the state? Let's get to hear you on this water situation in your area before Comrade Sanusi Mekudi the Managing Director of Kaduna State Water Corporation, KADSWAC, comes into the studios. And numbers to call to be part of it this morning: 081 40,000 989, 081 40,000 989, or 070 87 800 070 87 800 989. Water supply in your area, 24 hours, or how is it in your area? Do you get regular water supply? Are the taps running in your area? Let's get to hear that. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from?
Yes. I'm calling from television.
Television, yeah. So what's the situation there in television?
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
You said?
I can hear you. Water supply in your area in television, how is it?
It's not good. Since how many days now we don't have water?
Okay, days.
3 days now, no water.
Okay, yours is days.
Maybe they bring it today before they'll bring it in, let's say, Thursday. That's how they used to do it.
Okay, not regular, that's it, right?
Yes, it's not regular, yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right,
thank you.
Thank you. All right, that's in television area, water not regular. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Vincent from Banawa.
Yusuf Joseph Banawa. Let's hear you.
Vincent.
Vincent, okay, Vincent, all right, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to talk concerning the water issue.
What's the situation in your area? You have regular supply? What's the situation there?
It depends, because for now, I fetch water from my neighbor's house that have borehole.
Okay.
It's been long. We stopped using water board because water was not constant. What I call a friend of mine who happens to be in plumber advised us that we have well. We should just connect our well to GP and we should be using our well instead of borehole. And during dry season, like dry season now, the well is always dry, so I have to fetch from my neighbor's house.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say in essence is that water board we are doing very well before. In fact, growing up, you can fetch water directly from the tap and you drink, you don't have any problem with that. But now you find out that sometimes water board will bring water for you, dirty water that by the time you say you are inviting cholera or typhoid for yourself. I don't know what actually happened.
Okay.
Water board was good before, but now I won't have that. The ration water now in Canada. There are some days you have water, some days you won't have water.
And Vincent, you still pay for your water supply? You still pay, or you don't pay?
When we were using water board, we used to pay for the water.
But now you don't pay.
Yes, we used to pay. But there was a time that the supply was not constant. It was a serious issue. That was when a friend of mine advised us that we should forget about water board. We should just use our well since we have well. And we started using the well, but unfortunately, during dry season, the well used to get dry because in my area, almost every houses have borehole. So because of the borehole within the area, no matter how deep you dig your well, during dry season it will get dry. Okay,
Vincent, thank you. We got you on there. Most areas now is the borehole that is coming, in as alternative to water supply from the water board in the state. Yeah, that's in Banawa. Vincent called from Banawa. Also, can have one or two calls before we bring in the managing director. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from?
This is Christopher Sabo from Nasarawa.
Sabo, I just had Sabo. I didn't get it first.
I said this is Christopher Sabo.
All right, Christopher Sabo. All right, Christopher from Nasarawa.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's hear you.
Seriously, we have that problem for Nasarawa. Seriously, issue of that water. Since when I came there, I never even informed talkless of other things. Except borehole. People wait deep, go there for the water. Nothing like come for their talkless whether they bring water, they carry them. That is Angonjon size. Nothing like from there.
Nothing like water supply there.
Nothing like water supply there. It is only that people dig bore for compound, maybe, and where we beg for where we fetch the water, So if once we then pump with the light, then we go and beg the water and take. That is it. Nothing like that one.
Okay.
It's like pump for there.
All right, Christopher from Nasarawa, we got you on that. All right, still on the program Perspectives this morning. Any moment from
Hello,
now.
good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning.
My name is Comrade Gabriel, the sex man.
Yeah, calling from what part of this?
I'm calling from Mahuta area, Refinery Junction.
Okay, let's hear you.
In fact, I think we will have to be grateful to REN filling station, NNPC cooperative filling station, and Mama Salati, because these are the people that for over a year now we have been getting water from them. Our tap is nothing like a tap at all. That's the truth about it. Everything has dried up.
Okay.
Yes, so
you have taps
people who are
and
assisting us. Hello?
you have taps, but they're not running. Water is not running.
It's nothing like that. I don't even know that there's water bottle.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Thank
you very much, sir.
All right. Thanks. Come on, Gabriel. We
Yes,
heard you. All right. We'll go for another break. Let's bring in our guests. See if he's here with us, and really go into the program in full. We're talking about water supply in the state. We're talking about the Kaduna State Water Corporation, KADSWAC, and how much they're doing to see that water goes round. And of course, we do know that water sustains life. But when water is not supplied to our taps, what are we talking about? Some people have resorted to, wells. And of course, for those that have it and that can afford it, they're going for the borehole. And the borehole too, just, that's what public, depends on. And of course, again, when you have good-spirited people, they do that, and get, people in the neighborhood to come, over. But how can this go? We also, have it that, yes, boreholes may come under taxation too. All of that, we'll talk about them when we meet with the managing director of the Kaduna State Water Corporation, KADSWAC. Go for a break now. Glad to be back with you on the program Perspectives this morning. And as earlier announced, we have with us in the studio right now the Managing Director of Kaduna State Water Corporation, KADSWAC, Comrade Sanusi Maikudi. Good morning and glad to have you in our studio.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Yes. Thank you. Well, it's water that we're talking about, and water, they say, sustains life. But how much of water runs all over the state? And of course, we are here in Kaduna. What can we say about the water situation in the state? Is water, the Kaduna State Water Corporation living up to its billings? What are the challenges, again, that we may have in this section? We will talk about all of that. But first, let's get to know the state of water supply in Kaduna State. And of course, in the course of the program, we'll get to be hearing or getting an update of the project, water supply project, Zaria Water Supply Project, which was to supply or is to supply 150 million liters per day. But an update of the water situation in Kaduna State.
Well, thank you very much. Just to give an overview of the water supply situation, we have about two broad categories of water supply, the formal and the informal. When you talk of the formal, is the one that government or private sector are responsible. The informal is what communities, households, individuals help themselves using various water sources. The generic typology, what we have is that we have urban water supply system, which is under the mandate of Kaduna State Water Corporation. We have the rural water supply, which is under RWASA, which is a sister agency. So under the Kaduna State Water Corporation, we have about 9 water treatment plants. We have one in Saminaka, we are in Ikara, we are in Zaria, we are in Kaduna North and South, we are in Kwai, we are in Kagoro, we are in Kaura, we are in Kafanchan. So about 13 local governments out of the 23, we have operational presence there. And our total combined installed capacity is to produce about 611 million liters per day. That's our combined installed capacity. Our highest water treatment plants, we have 2 of them about 150, 151 in Zaria, one in Kaduna North. And we have an old plant, 90 million liters, also in Kaduna North. The oldest plant is in Kaduna South by the NEPA Central Store, just after the bridge, which is 27 and a fraction million liters per day. It was established in 1920. So we have a net capacity to produce 600 and something million liters per day. But we have factors of production like every enterprise. We are actually a water refinery. We take raw water from different sources, dams, rivers, natural springs. We call it abstraction, raw water abstraction. You abstract the raw water. When you abstract the raw water, you subject it to two fundamental steps of water refining, which is we call water treatment. First, you have to remove any foreign element. And the foreign elements are of two categories, the one you can see with your eyes and the ones that you cannot see. And the ones you cannot see are also of two types. You have microorganisms, and then you have mineral salt, you have nutrients that are dissolved in the water. Some of them are toxic and pathogens that are dangerous to human health. So the first step of the processing is to remove the turbidity, suspended items or colloidal items precipitated in the water, and they are filtered out. Then the last stage, you do disinfection. That is to kill any microorganism that is found in the water. So we're actually a water refinery, and we have input with which we work. The basic input includes the water treatment plant. Then we need energy, large amount of energy. We need water treatment chemicals, about three major ones: aluminum sulfate, which is used to precipitate any dissolved matter by making them to come together, become heavier, and they go to the bottom of the sedimentation tank, and then you filter them. Then you use chlorine to kill any microorganism to avoid waterborne diseases. And there are standards, the one by the World Health Organization, which is international, and we have Nigerian standard drinking water quality. So this is basically what we do. In addition to that one, you need manpower, of course. You need water treatment chemicals. Then after you have produced the water, you need an assembly or an array of reservoirs strategically located within our service coverage area, where you can pump the water to a reservoir. From the reservoir, you now distribute to neighborhoods. So if water is enough, you leave everything. But if there is inadequacy, you start rationing to make sure that nobody is left behind.
Let me go to this. The world today is experiencing what is called global warming, and we know how much global warming has affected environments and even nature. Is the water, corporation, because of rains, of course, that you all depend on for water, is it in any way global warming affecting supply of water to its maximum?
Yes, the global warming is a very, very big environmental challenge to all human activities that have to do with nature. And the water is the crisscrossing environmental element. When you take air, you take land, you take water body, you take vegetation, you take the flora and fauna, that's plants and animals in a given ecology. Everything revolves around the water cycle, hydrologic cycle. So what the global warming does is that it raises the annual mean temperature of the world. And it has a number of effects. One, the natural ice cap, the glacier and the ice cap in the north and the south pole, and on top of very, very tall mountains, those water bodies that are permanently frozen are becoming melted, and they are flooding the sea, thereby raising the sea level. So if this exercise is not checked, there is prediction that by the close of the century, the sea level might rise as high as 3 meters more. That's about 10 feet, which is very dangerous to a lot of coastal cities. What it does locally in terms of the rainfall is that it makes rainfall unpredictable. Unpredictable. You can do scientific prediction based on meteorological data that you collect. Talking about the annual rainfall measured in the millimeters or centimeters over a unit area of 1 meter square. You take the direction of the wind, the speed of the wind. You take pressure barometer. In a typical meteorological station, there are a number of parameters that you measure, and you get daily, you call it weather. When you aggregate it over a long period of time, you use it to define climate. And climate also drive vegetation, weather and climate. We are talking of rainfall, and even the rainfall have other components. So what it does to rainfall basically is that it makes it erratic. When it comes excessively more than you used to expect, thereby causing flooding, excessive flooding. And the rainfall might decide, rainfall that can come for 3 hours, it can decide to come in 15 minutes. And before it moves along the hydrological contours and water bodies, you find out that the rate in which it can move, it's falling more than that, so you have flooding. And if you notice, we are experiencing flooding more than we have ever expected. And if you are on the other side of the equation, where you have drought, the drought becomes more prolonged, more devastating, and the consequences is affecting everything: food security, water supply, sanitation, hygiene, power generation, development, sustenance of hydrologic structure. So it's a very, very big issue, and that's why every stakeholder will tell you that let all and sundry contribute towards the mitigation and the development of resilience by all the communities. That means planting more trees, allowing more of the existing trees to be where they are, and planting more. And in case for any reason you have to cut a tree, make sure that you plant between 20 to 30 because of the potential of survival. You are not sure that if you plant it's going to be.
This is a simple one, and well, simple but very serious. Before you just came into our studios, we opened the lines, to call people to ask about the water situation in their areas. Yeah. And from different parts of the town, we got some people saying it's not regular. For some people, the taps have been there and are not running in any way. But it's for some people too, in the town, the urban places, or rural or suburban, there's a regular supply of water. Now explain to us why some people just not have water and some people not as regular, but for some people there is adequate supply.
Yeah.
So how to explain this?
Well, we are operating a system with different components, and as I have said in the beginning, we use input to render the service. The major issues now for places that are not having water, it's either one of two factors. Sometimes we have breakdown in the water treatment plants, like in the Kaduna South. Only yesterday the transformer was restored, and there is gestation period from when an equipment breakdown to when the fault is evaluated, costed, and sourcing the money and awarding the contract, and for somebody to fix it, you pay him to do the job. Another major disrupting factor in the water supply in the city is the over-renewal. Traditionally, our water supply pipelines are located by the roadside. So when roads are going to be expanded or dualized, you have to remove the old connection and relocate it to the new location based on the new dimension of the road that is going to be constructed. And the over renewal is a very complex process. It starts with the road design, road costing.
Sorry, I'm not cutting you, MD.
Yeah, sorry.
I just want to put it.
Just one point.
No, quickly on this.
Yeah.
Was the water board brought, was there a collaboration? Were you brought into the planning, in the urban planning? Because what you're saying is very sensitive. Because
we are part of the committee. Because when you define urban infrastructure, a road is just one element. You have the power supply, you have the water supply, you have the drainage. So we are part of it. Kaduna State has what is called Infrastructure Development Council as one of the policy councils, chaired by the Chief of Staff. All the agencies that has to do with one aspect or the other of infrastructure are members of that council. And the Urban Renewal Project is an initiative of the Urban Infrastructure Development Council of the state. So part of the process, before you relocate the pipelines, some properties might be affected. Valuation comes in. When you evaluate people's property, maybe fence, maybe part of the house that you need to evaluate it, quantify it, put it in the budget, get approval, get the money, pay them before you touch their property. So it's a very complicated process. And this is what comes with the part of the gain. Every process you are doing, there is the pain and there is the gain. If somebody has an injury, a dislocation, and it's not fixed on time, by the time you come to fix it, the pain is severe. But at the end of it all, we are all going to smile.
It's not a permanent pain.
It's not a permanent pain. It's a price we are paying for a potentially improved and more sustainable service in the near future.
One of the things that we've noticed, again, about owning having properties in the state, especially construction of buildings, is that for any builder, it's one thing to put into plan that you must have a borehole. And of course, we do know that the old ones that we used were wells, but now we've gone, to having boreholes. Another alternative to supply of water from the water, corporation.
I think to me, the proliferation of boreholes are being driven largely by two things. One, our limitations, our inability to serve people, and then the growing prosperity. If you have money in your pocket, you wait for me to supply water and I could not supply water, you become impatient. The major issue is those who don't have the means to do it. So when elites growing prosperity, people look at options within their means. And there is a law, there is underground water abstraction law in the state that allow people to abstract, but it's being subjected to regulation by the Kaduna State Water Services Regulatory Commission, which is bounded by the Kaduna State Water Services law. But my advice to people that resort to drilling of borehole, don't be deceived by the clarity of the water that you see with your naked eye. Once you get a driller and they drill your borehole, take the water, take a sample before you drink it. Take it to Kaduna State Water Board Central Lab, or go to Mando, National Water Resource Institute, or go to NAFDAC with a sample of your water. Let them test it for you. Because there are some heavy metals down there in the crust of the earth, in the aquifer where you drill the borehole. There are some heavy metals that are dissolved in the water. You cannot see them with your eye. And if you consume that water over time, it damages either your heart or your kidney, and it can cause a number of infections, permanent organ damage. So don't just be deceived that I have money to drill borehole and you start consuming the water. Take a step further. Take sample of the water for analysis. Once it's satisfied, potable, fit for human consumption, you use it. If there is the need to do micro treatment, they will guide you to do it. So it's not just about drilling the borehole. One of our mandate is to safeguard public health and prevent diseases, because without health, everything in the society will crumble. Journalists cannot go to work, teachers, security men, farmers. So health is very fundamental, and water is the major driver of human health.
Again, this is also coming up that no water supply in some parts of the state, yet the bills still come up that people pay for what they are not being supplied. And again, we ask the question that from what is coming from the corporation, water coming from the corporation, people still complain that we have dirty water.
No, but you see, the dirty water doesn't come from the water corporation because we have a very sound water treatment system. But once we finish the water treatment process, there is what we call clear water tank. We are at the last point that we store water after treatment. From there, we transmit it to the reservoirs. Reservoirs, that's the water storage facilities across the city. From the reservoirs, the transmission, there's delivery of water from the water treatment plant reservoir is called transmission. From the reservoirs, we distribute water to neighborhoods, different quarters in the state, in the town. But then customers, they do what we call PWC, private water connection. They pay for their services to be connected. Some of the places, the connections are done with substandard materials. Some of them are done inside gutter. You can take a look, go around. If you are doing exercise, you are trekking, just go and look at the water connection of some people. So along the line, if you use substandard material or you do poor workmanship, when there is water, nothing can go into it. But when for any reason there is no water supply, the gutter where the pipes were laid down or where it's leaking, some extraneous materials will get seeped into it. And then when we bring water, it flushes down to your pipeline. So normal, part of our transformation agenda is stakeholder engagement. If anybody sees a dirty water, we have offices in all the major parts of Kaduna, and we are available on the social media. We can be contacted so that we come together and follow the line and find out where the issue is. So anybody who is receiving dirty water will not leave our water treatment plant until it is certified by the water chemist. There is a whole directorate called Director of Quality Control. He's a chartered water chemist, and he has offices in all the water treatment plants. Before water is dispensed, it must have met the Nigerian standard drinking water quality. But along the transmission line, anything can happen. By the way, it might interest our listeners to know that our transmission line is longer, if you stretch it, is longer than going to Lagos and come back. The pipe network in Kaduna State Underwater Board, if you connect them together on a straight line, is longer than going to Lagos and coming back. And it is an old network. Part of it was laid in the late 1920s. Because it's buried under the ground, there is now a smart network with technology that if you put magic ball, it goes throughout the network and you can be getting conditional status update at every point on your computer screen. But it takes billions of dollars to have that smart network. So we are making do with what we have. So the most important thing is collaboration between consumers, general public, civil society, water sector stakeholders, and the water corporation, so that whenever an issue is identified, our attention should be drawn either to the headquarters or to the zonal offices so that we come and look at it and then address it.
You raised an issue about having boreholes. That's what every owner of a house would want. But again, what we see on our streets, you're concerned about sachet water all over the street. People pick and people buy, and with the concerns you raised. Now, that's serious.
Can we in any way control all of that? I mean, these are boreholes bringing out this water.
Yeah, in our own interest, we need to control it, because there is also a regulation for potable water packaging, either using sachet or using plastic bottles. Table water, there is a regulation, but the fundamental issue is safeguarding the human health, the health of all members of the society. And drinking water is a basic need. So when they cannot get the right one, they make do with whatever is available. So there is the need for a very, very effective and efficient regulation to ensure that the pre-enterprise system, the right of people to set up businesses, to earn a living and create jobs in the economy, should not be abused by packaging substandard, unwholesome water. NAFDAC is in charge. Kaduna State Water Regulatory Commission is in charge. The Health Department or local government are also in charge. To us, we believe that the private sector, the voluntary sector, civil society have a lot of role to play. The current water governance paradigm globally is called integrated water resource management. It says everybody has a right to be involved. But when you are going to be involved, you should do it in such a way that you do not harm the interests of the other stakeholder. So people can invest, do their sachet water, do their table water, but then the quality must be up to standard. And the management of the waste, that is the sachet after drinking the water, and the plastic bottles, they are contaminating our environment. We need to work on that, because the environment is on what we live to survive. If we damage the environment, we are going to pay for it. Now, if it rains, look at the typical drainage, a gutter in front of your house. It will be conveying those items, and it will follow up to the river. From there, it moves to dams. It goes to water intake. How much does it take to clean it? So the better we are in environmental awareness and environmental consciousness and doing the needful by managing our waste in such a way that it does not pollute the environment, is better for us. Because if we allow the environment to be damaged, we are the ones to pay. It's our major life support mechanism. We rely on it there is a relationship between the air, the water body, the vegetation, and the soil. So there is sustainable, dynamic linkages between all the elements of the environment. So if you allow pollution or contamination to take place, it's a vicious cycle. Now we have reached even a stage of what is called emerging pollutants. Pollutants that were not known before, that the water treatment process anywhere in the world has not made provision for them. We are talking of microplastics. We are talking of drug residue. When you take drugs, 7 billion people in the world, we take different drugs and we defecate and we urinate. It goes back to nature undigested. Some of it is still there. By the time you quantify it, it's a huge problem globally at the highest level of decision making on water treatment. Then you have a lot of cosmetics. Now people use a lot of cosmetics. When they bath and they flush it, there is residue that goes into the water body again. And the current water treatment processes anywhere in the world, from Japan to US to UK to Sweden to Norway, has never provided for treatment of water microplastics, drug residue, and then cosmetics. So that's why the World Health Organization did a regional conference in Accra, Ghana, where they are working the African consciousness that now there is a category of pollutants called emerging pollutants, that there is no regulation about them, and the mechanism for water treatment plan has not included them. So there is the need to wake up, start looking for technology and solution. And some of these technologies could be natural. It could be natural. There are some plants that if you plant, they will absorb some toxin from the water bodies. and you apply the concept of eco-hydrology to solve that problem.
You have plans to have a water plant in Kajuru, and of course, would this go around, or you have areas that you're also planning on? And when can we say that in the time to come, Kaduna State can be assured of adequate water supply?
No, you know, water supply is per capita. It depends on the population size. It depends on the prosperity of the people. You know, like some of my friends, like Ango, you are seeing, in his house, he might have a swimming pool. He might have flower that he want to water. There is one car for himself, one for madam, one for taking children to school. Yes. They want to use water hose and wash all those cars. You understand? So the level of economic development, the educational sophistication of the people determine the per capita water consumption. So it's dynamic. But what is very, very worrying is the amount of money required to do a water project. Like the Greater Kaduna Water project that we are talking about, the conservative estimate is $1 billion. So $1 billion, by the time you multiply it by 100, what are you talking about? So, and this type of money, the way our economy is not there anywhere. So you have to do multi-stakeholder engagement. Invite the World Bank, African Development Bank, Asian Development Bank, Green Climate Fund of UK, Islamic Development Bank. Anywhere you can see money, just get it and do it, because we are late. We are late. This old water treatment plant that was founded in 1929, the average lifespan is 40 years. You can extend it by 10 years. So between 40 to 50 years, it ought to have been replaced 100%. But it's still there, my brother. From 1927-29, you add 50 years. You are talking of what, 1979? But we are in 2021. 40 years in arrears. When this system was built, how many neighborhoods do you have in Kaduna? So it is a capital intensive. Foreign exchange rates affect it, and most of the components are not locally produced. Even ductile iron pipe, the cheapest one comes from China. The one from Eastern Europe and Western Europe is 2 times the price of the one that comes from China, and the quality are basically the same. So it's very capital intensive, and the way we value water, it's not helping matter, because water is the most precious substance on earth. There are things you can do without, but nobody can say. Pella said, water I not get enemy, and it's not true talk, the man talk, and I agree with him. The more we value water, pay for water services. If you see any damage, report it to the relevant people to take the necessary action, the better for us. What we need to do, even at the highest decision making, at the national level, at continental level, at the state government level, water sector need to be given top priority in terms of policy attention, in terms of budgetary provision, in terms of attracting and retaining the best human resources possible. Because that is our life. You cannot talk about food security without water. You cannot talk of educational institutions where students will go and you don't have water there for either for cooking food, for drinking, for sanitation, for hygiene, even for maintaining the environment. Without water is not possible. Even healthcare facilities without adequate water supply, they become major disease transmission centers. So that is how important water is. And even industrialization, without power, and most of power comes from water, hydro plants. So when you talk of energy for industrialization, you talk of human resources development, schools, hospitals, you talk of food security, agriculture, animal husbandry, you talk of urbanization, construction of shelter, buildings of different types, you cannot do it without water. And the way we value water currently in Nigeria and in most part of Africa does not help matters.
How much does the public know about what you are doing, your challenges? I'll come to that. I need to know more about your challenges. But how much, of information is being passed down to the public to know your situation?
Very little. Because people know very little because there is an old mindset that we are carrying over from the old paradigm. Hitherto, before now, the economic philosophy of the country was that you pay taxes and government gives you services. That's the philosophy. Then you pay taxes, you get infrastructure, you get education, you get healthcare. But now we are 200 million people. 200 million people in the country. And we have not been able to diversify the economy. We are still monocultural. We depend on petrodollars. And then the major consumers of the petrodollars are shifting to alternative energy, to electrical cars. And they predicted that the 20 largest economy in the world want to exist diesel, gasoline-driven autos by 2025. So we are in for a big trouble if we don't adjust our ways and means. People value water very little. We did an exercise called PIP, that is Performance Improvement Program, 2 legs program. One, we call it amnesty program to our zonal offices. We said if you know anybody taking water and has no bill, no legal papers, declare it before you come out on the inspection. We generated about close to 4,000 customers that you can call them water tips, that they connected illegally using private plumbers and some of our corrupt staff. So when we get them, then we also went on a pilot. Our team of staff started from Kamazo, and they got another 3,000 people. So all in all, within the last quarter of last year, we were able to discover 7,000 households taking water without relevant papers. So we said, do we need to initiate 7,000 court cases, litigation? Said no. Let's give them safe landing. We call it normalization exercise. The normal water connection is 26,500, so pay. And for only God knows for how long you've been taking the water, pay a penalty of 50,000. That would be 76,000. We wrote 6,000 letters. Before I went on leave, I have to sign 6,000 letters, 12,000, including the duplicate. Because you want where you will sign, you have collect, if the need arises for litigation. Do you know how many people responded? Less than 200. So now we have no option. We have to ask for a special court for water tips. And the issue of billing without water supply is very simple. People should subscribe for meters. If you have meter, if there is not a single drop, you have zero billing. But if you are on flat rate, if you are on estimation, when you have the water, do we know? When you don't have, do we know? So the best way to go about it is to subscribe for meter. Once we come and read your meter and we discover that you have not taken a drop of water, we submit a bill of zero for you. So that's a solution. So I wish to call on our stakeholders to know more about water sector. Even me, I'm in the sector by accident. It's a posting, I was given an assignment, but I have to start reading, have to start learning, attending conferences, inviting former staff, people who read the area to discuss with us, guide us, inspire us, looking at a lot of reports to be able to be abreast with the best practices in the sector. And if I can do it from a different background within some few months, a lot of people can do it. More so, we need water literacy. The same way we need computer literacy, we need water literacy more. Because we can survive without computers and we cannot survive without water.
The program is Perspectives this morning and it's coming to you on Invicta 98.9. And this morning we're doing a public enlightenment program and with Kaduna State Water Corporation, KADSWAC. And having with us in the studios, Comrade Sanusi Maikudi, the managing director of this corporation. And yes, it's been enlightening for me. It's been an eye-opener and more of water situation in the state, getting clearer picture of it. And I'm sure that is happening to you out there too. But it's time that we make you part of this program. Join the conversation and call us on numbers 081 40989, 081 40989, or 070 87 800 989, 070 87 800 989. Numbers to call to be part of this program. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Toyala.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Musa Bala. I'm calling from Kaduna.
Oh. What part of Kaduna?
I'm calling from Kawo. I'm talking to you now.
Okay, Kawo.
Let me start by saying that water does not only sustain life, but water is life. Just like the executive secretary over there said that we need water literacy. True, we need water literacy. My heart bleeds when I see public pump running without anybody care to switch it up, or public pumps deliberately allow their taps to be running for maybe an accident. I think we need water literacy. The question I want to ask your guest is that, you see, nobody actually wants to dig borehole ordinarily. When I was building my house, I had wished there's provision for water. But I can understand the challenges of the government, long-term neglect. Are you people having a plan where almost every home will have supply from the public water system or from your corporation? That's one question, so that we all abandon our borehole to preserve our underground water. And secondly, what are you people doing? Because since they have to be very frank, the way car wash people wastewater from your corporation in Kaduna State is totally unacceptable. What are you doing about that? I wish you the best and good morning. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Musa Bala. We'll take one or two calls and come back to our guest. Still with your calls, yeah. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where
you're calling
from?
Good morning to the guest. Yeah. Francis calling from Malaban Riverside.
All right, Francis, let's hear you.
Thank you. We welcome your guest. I'm really educated, and just like you rightly said, the problem is we lack water education in this part of the world. And the only thing I need from him, just like he said, for people to be reporting when they see water wasting somewhere, I need him to give out a number or a code or a website that people can report to them, because sometimes when you are moving within the community, you see where a pipe bursts and water is wasting for no reason. So is there any number that people can contact water board to lay a complaint of such a thing? Thank you.
All right, Francis, thank you. We'll take one more call and we'll come back to our guest. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Rufai Abdel Fattah. I'm calling from Kano Road.
Kano Road, okay.
Yes, please.
All right, let's hear
it. Please, my own is maybe a sort of maybe suggestion or advice. I think Water Board has to liaise with National Orientation Agency, so that at least enlightenment will be going, maybe giving us a sort of information on how to preserve their pipe, and in case we see anything like that. Then one again, I think the environment, we the society, or we the citizenry, we should be very conscious of how, if we see pipe just broken away, we don't even mind to even make a suggestion, or maybe to tell Water Board we have a leakage somewhere like this. We feel unconcerned. And I think that thing has to be seriously, maybe I don't know how they will do it, so that at least we'll be informed on how to preserve and take care of government property.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, Rufai, thank you. So coming back to our guests in the studios, the questions are coming from Musa Bala, Francis from Maridu, Rufai here in Kano Road. Yes.
Let me thank our three respondents for the very valuable questions and comments. About increase in coverage, Kaduna State has an ambitious plan. It has been on the drawing board since the time of architect Namadi Sambo as governor. The project was conceived together with the 300-bed hospital in Millennium City and the same time with the Zaria Water Supply Expansion and Sanitation Project. The one that is pending is called Greater Kaduna Metropolitan Water Supply Expansion and Sanitation Project. It is a full complement of project. It has a multi-purpose dam. A site has been identified. Federal government has agreed to build it. Then there will be a 300 million liters capacity water treatment plant to be built by the Kaduna State government. And there is design, but it is old now, outdated. Contract has been awarded to consultant to renew the design, detailed engineering design, as well as the new costing, because you cannot take the design of 2008-9 and apply it in 2021-2022. So there is a plan. We have contacted development partners, build alliances. The Green Climate Fund of UK are ready to partner. African Development Bank are ready to partner. Islamic Development Bank. Even the federal government has already awarded the contract for the dam. And after the dam and the water treatment plant, the entire network in the Kaduna city will be replaced. There will be new, what do you call them, reservoirs, dedicated reservoirs to each neighborhood. And then the transmission and distribution networks to cover the greater Kaduna city. So, but as I've said, project takes time, they cost money. So the plan is on ground, work is being done on about it. That's one. Two, about the car wash, personally I'm concerned because I don't think car need to be washed with treated water. But what we insist now is metering. If they decide to use 1 million liters of water and they are commercial enterprises, they should pay for 1 million liters at the commercial rate, because the domestic consumption to preserve human health is being subsidized. We are not charging commercial tariffs. So I agree, it's a very big issue. What we insist for now is metering. But if there is time for policy review, we'll consult the public. If the public, personally as a person, I believe we don't need to treat water with energy, with water treatment chemicals, with staff labor, with water refinery called water treatment plant, only to be washing cars for them. This is not done in other parts of the world. Then our contact number, we are almost in all the social medias, but I can give my number if people are going to take it. My number that you can contact me is 0803 726 2257. I take it again. 0803 726 2257. And it will be good in all neighborhoods to identify our staff there. Whenever there are issues, get the closest person. But if you call the attention of the MD, you are sure the matter will get the quickest attention. But we have other directors. Then about the engagement, working together with the National Orientation Agency to educate our people on water, value of water, valuing water and supporting water services, a very timely advice, and we are going to explore it. We are doing our best, and we'll continue to do it. In fact, we are working with some NGOs in Kaduna State to do what we call young water professionals, to be drawn from primary school students, secondary school students, tertiary institution, people reading science-related courses, or they have passion for water. We are doing Young Water Professionals Club, and we will invite people interested to join. And then we also want to do water marshals. Just like we have the education marshals, if they see children of school going out of school during school hours, they will interrogate them. So we would like to have water marshals. This will be volunteers. Anywhere they see anybody wasting water or polluting water body, they will report him to the relevant authority. So, and anybody interested in joining the either young water professionals or the water marshals, our doors are open. We are in Obasanjo House, Yakubu Gowon Way. If you just come, you ask for the corporate planning department, or you ask for the PRO, Kaduna State Water Corporation. This we are going extra mile because the importance of water cannot be left to a single agency. It's criss-cutting. Everybody has a role to play, particularly the media, because people now listen to the media 24 hours. Once I wake up, I turn off my radio. So if messages are coming, gradually we get the ideas, we get the information, we get the knowledge, and from there we start implementing it gradually. The moment we know the value of water, we give it the priority it deserves. And you know, they used to say, if you can get the water supply right, your health budget falls down by half. This is there in the literature. It's not my own opinion. I'm not saying it's from the authorities.
All right, let me get your last line on all that we've discussed here.
Yeah. First, I want to thank you for the opportunity to discuss with your people on Oba Ibikta. It's a very lovely and nice place. We thank you for the opportunity. And I'm aware that the Barnao community in particular have been badly affected by two incidents. One, we have Ungwampama transmission lines about 1,000 mm, one of the largest pipes that broke down. It took us more than a year because of the technology required, but it has been fixed. It's the one that is bringing water to Barnao from Kamaza overhead tank. And then we also have the Oba renewal, and that there were some compensation issues that were not paid on time. But we assure them we are very much concerned with this deplorable state of water supply, and we'll do everything we can to restore normalcy in terms of the water supply. And I want to invite people to engage us. We are in all the social media. And try to reach out to us. Any observation, any question, any comment you have, we will listen to you patiently and see what can come out of it. We are partners to everybody because nobody can do without water. Thank you very much.
And on that note, we will draw the curtains on the program Perspectives this morning. We've had the honor of having the Kaduna State Water Corporation MD, that's Comrade Sanusi Mekudi, with us this morning, and the enlightenment that has taken place, I'm sure it's been an eye-opener for a lot of us this morning. And of course, you've just heard that, yes, we are all part of it to see that water goes round and water comes around. Thank you once again, Comrade Sanusi Mekudi.
Thank you, Chief Host.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
I'd like to thank my colleague, True Dashin, for connecting us with the people today. Wisdom, thank you for putting us in the pictures. And I'd like to also thank the entourage of the MD, Kaduna State Water Corporation, my friend, my colleague, who is also part of it this morning. Thank you for coming over. And Ango Bali for making sure that this program comes alive today. Thank you for all your effort. We'll come back with Perspectives tomorrow. Good morning.